your weekly view of young leaders taking big steps. This is Next Gen. Presented by PFI, home of Boo Daddy.
Many in the area are pretty familiar with the Western form of riding, but today we're here at Heritage Livestock in Mt.Vernon to learn about English.
Presley, sit for 2 beats and stand for 2, hun. Good.
Mariellen, take me back to the beginning. Where did your love and your passion for horses begin?
I think I was just one of those little horse crazy kids. I remember begging my parents for lessons to start with.
Mm-hmm.
When it was my 8th birthday, they gave me a lesson thinking that would appease me.
Mm-hmm.
And it pretty much started from there. And then by the time I was 11, I can't remember if I was 10 or 11, but I had been begging for a pony. And eventually, my parents did get me one, but it was with the condition that I had to work off my board.
As you grew up through adolescence and through your teenage and college years, did that love continue? Did you compete?
It did. I competed quite a bit locally, and I was at the barn all the time. I mean, I pretty much grew up in the barn, you would say.
So, when you moved to Missouri, you had 3 young children, and it was no question you were going to teach them to ride. Did you anticipate that it would grow into a small business where you were teaching kids from all over the Ozarks how to ride?
No, I didn't. It was my older 2 daughters, or who I taught obviously first,
Mm-hmm.
and my oldest daughter had a friend that wanted to learn a little bit more. She had a horse, but she wanted a little bit more English riding instruction, and from there it just sort of took off.
So let's talk about that type of instruction and that type of riding, because here many people are familiar with Western forms of riding. So what's different between Western and English?
First off, it would be the tack. I mean, Western saddles are larger. There's more to them. They have a horn. There's more bulk to them, and it's the reason Western saddles are designed the way they are is to spread out the weight more evenly on a horse, and also because cowboys use them. They're a tool. They're out riding for long periods of time, so it has to be comfortable for both the horse and the rider. Whereas English saddles they're much smaller. They're designed to be a little bit more close contact, so you're a little bit closer to the horse. There's not as much bulk to them.
So you're in teaching English. You have young kids here starting around the age of 8 or so, and then on up throughout adolescence. What are the stages of riding the different gaits and the things that you teach them?
Okay, so when I start, especially with the younger kids, when they come, their first lesson is a lot of what I call groundwork. They learn how to put a halter on the horse. They learn how to lead a horse. They learn how to groom them properly, which there's actually a sequence that you use the brushes, so they have to learn how to do that. And then they learn how to tack up the horse, which is basically putting the saddle and the bridle on the horse correctly.
Before they ever even get on the horse?
Yes, because I think it's very important for them to know all the aspects of riding and horses and care and safety. And then as they keep progressing, they'll eventually trot, then they canter. Although the way I teach, they trot for quite some time. They get a very safe, solid position, and then I'll start them over little baby cross rails, and then eventually the horse will just land in a canter, and that's how I teach the kids to canter, because it's less intimidating if the horse just does it, as opposed to having them sit on the horse and get all ready and cue them to canter, because they don't know what to expect.
Yeah,
so
it's a progress.
It is, yeah.
Take me through, once your students get more advances, what is up for them? What can they compete in, and how does it build them into skilled riders?
Okay. So I stress the basics in my program, and sometimes I take my time teaching them in the beginning so that they do develop a very strong, secure seat. And then from there, they actually can go to any discipline that they would like.
So Mariellen, when you think of these kids big picture, when they've graduated high school and moved on to college, how has this experience prepared them for future careers in the real world?
Okay. I think that it has prepared them because they are responsible for an animal, something besides themselves. So they think beyond just their own personal needs. And also I've watched a lot of the kids grow. Some of them come in here shy. They don't really want to talk to me. It's
intimidating.
It is. And then as they become more confident, they become better speakers. And I think the kids having a voice is really important, especially a lot of the girls that ride here. I think it's important that girls are able to convey what they're thinking and feeling, and I think it helps their interpersonal skills that way too.